We are recording. Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in about one more minute if everyone's ready. Okay, we can go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome to the May Downtown Development District Commission meeting. Appreciate everyone joining us this morning. I know it's a sloppy morning, but I hope everyone's nice and dry in the comforts of their office. Board members, you should have a copy of the minutes and the agenda in your packets for approval. I'll go ahead and hand it off to Chairwoman Melanie Counts to call the meeting to order.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome again. Hope y'all are dry. I'm dry. My phone is being my Zoom browser today since my office computer is not being cooperative at all. So sorry for seeing my fingers on the screen if you're looking at my video at any point. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
All righty, good deal. Okay, then we have the agenda. Everyone should have received in their packet of information. Do we have any changes for the agenda?
No, move to approve the agenda.
All right, great. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, anybody opposed? All right, agenda's approved. You should have also received, as Gabe said, the copy of the minutes for your review from the April 13th meeting. Any changes or corrections to that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any opposed? All right, minutes are adopted and approved. All right, so next on the agenda is the board action for the executive director transition. I just wanted to update everyone. I mentioned at last month's meeting that I had requested an opinion from the parish attorney's office for clarification as to the appointing authority for the DDD commission. It took a bit longer than we had hoped to get that opinion, which is why I didn't have the executive committee meeting that I anticipated having, but it was just getting a little tight on time. And but the Metro Council is the appointing authority, but the DDD Commission is to make recommendations to the council. So in an effort to, and all of the board members did receive all the information from the parish attorney's office. So they've had a chance to review all of that. In an effort to make some forward progress, I would make a motion that the commission therefore send a formal recommendation to the council to appoint Gabe McNair as the interim director. Do the board members have any discussion on this? Anybody want to make any comments or?
I second the motion.
All righty. So we have a second, motions on the table. We have a second. Are there any opposed to the commission making that recommendation to the council? All right, then that motion carries. We will draft and submit that recommendation to the council according to appropriate procedures. Secondly, also based on the opinion that we received, I would move that the commission send a formal recommendation to the council that allows the commission to form a search committee to coordinate and conduct the search and interviews to fill the director position. Does anybody have any comments, discussion on this?
I second that motion.
All righty. Do we have any opposed to that motion? All right, the motion carries, and we will again draft and submit the recommendation to the council for that development of that committee, formation of that committee. I also just to update as well, I've been in communication with the city's finance department to get, they're working to get me some information just so that we have, the most current information as to our budgetary status and finances and all that as it relates to personnel. So as I get that information, I'll also be sharing that with the commission, and that will help assist us in moving forward in this matter. All right, then that's all the board action we've got right now. So I will turn it over to Gabe for governmental issues and COVID orders and stuff like that.
Okay, well, I want to thank the board for having the confidence to allow me to lead the organization through this transition. So I assure you I take the role very seriously, and we'll keep it going in the direction of progress.
Thank you, Gabe.
The current COVID orders, obviously, as many of you are aware, I'm sure, it has loosened quite a bit since the last time we met. Governor Edwards lifted the statewide mask mandate. Large venues and reception halls are capped at 75%, which would apply to our River Center and any of our large reception halls downtown. Outdoor events can move forward with no capacity limits, which is good for a lot of our public events in Town Square that we count on to keep things moving down here. So excited, Live After 5. If Lauren is on here, you'll hear a little more about it the coming fall season, but that would certainly apply to Live After 5. There's no statewide limitation on when bars can serve alcohol, so they can serve all the way up to 2 a.m. in Baton Rouge. People under 21 cannot enter the bar, and then they are supposed to serve with socially distanced seating within the bar. So that's where we are now. Obviously, not a whole lot of restriction left, but some. And we're not out of the woods yet, so we'll keep an eye on that and keep you updated. Next on the agenda is the Davis S. Rohr Plaza. It's an update from last meeting, so we're happy to announce that the Metro Council did approve the renaming of City Hall Plaza to the Davis S. Rohr Memorial Plaza. So, really such a great recognition, so deserving. We're gathering quotes right now to install some steel lettering to brand the space within the plaza. once we nail down the timeline for installation of that lettering, we'll work with the mayor's office and of course Davis's family to go ahead and nail down a date for a ceremony on site. So we'll go ahead and get that set as soon as we have a timeline for the installation of the lettering. There will also be a plaque installed, and Davis's family has graciously offered to fund that plaque and handle getting that done and donate it to the city and to downtown. So we appreciate that. Next on the agenda, here you see the map here of I guess you know where City Hall Plaza is, but for those who don't, here's a map of context there. So you see Roar Plaza. That's where Live After 5 has been held for quite a few seasons now. The largest green space that we have for concerts, and I think the most beautiful. Development initiatives, we have Restaurant Revitalization Fund. The American Rescue Plan Act became law on March 11th, allocated $28.6 million for SBA to award funds for a program called the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. Is to provide assistance for eligible entities that suffered revenue losses related to COVID-19. It's not required to be paid back, which is great, as long as the funds are used before March 11th, 2023. Up to $5 million per business at a certain particular location, up to $10 million for an applicant. I think the minimum is 1,000 per award, but this this applies to our restaurants, our food stands, caterers, bars, lounges, etc. Are all eligible. It covers expenses such as payroll, mortgage, rent, utilities, maintenance, and even outdoor seating construction, which we're really interested in. We'd like to dig in and get a little more information about that component because it's certainly something that we want to encourage. And all of this is something that we want to make sure every business downtown, every food service for sure, understands that it's out there to help. So a great tool in the recovery. The portal link is you can find it at restaurants.sba.gov. The first 21 days, they'll be processing the priority groups, disadvantaged businesses and socially disadvantaged businesses. And then after the first 21 days, they'll start looking at all the other applications. So great program, and we'll continue to get the word out for this. Okay, I'm not sure if Cornelius Quarles is here today. He is redeveloping the old Hound Dog space on Main and 7th Street. So old bar that's been there for a long time, was kind of the hangout point for a lot of people in Spanish Town. It's being renovated into a really cool concept. It's being coined a business bar. So really low key kind of lounge vibe. The way it was described to me, it's similar to what you would find in a hotel lobby bar, just really low key, and offer opportunities for quiet business meetings and things like that. There'll be a rooftop terrace on top of the building, which should be really, really cool. They'll also be serving small plate dishes. Soft opening is planned in July. They did have some delays, I believe, with permitting, but they're still shooting to open that up in early July. The way he described it, it may be sort of similar to the Vintage as well. Small plates, kind of low key. So great for downtown. I like to see something a little different like this, especially on Main Street. Main Street's got a lot of potential, and it's seen some development over the past few years. So exciting for this development, and also the future of Main Street. Moving on, the Rotary sculpture has recently received, actually within the last couple of weeks, received some upgrades to the lighting. There were some deficiencies in the existing lighting in the sculpture, so we're thankful that Rotary stepped up and enhanced all of the LED lighting. So you see kind of the rings within the sculpture got new lighting that just illuminates the area much better. But one of the most impactful things I think you can see on the next slide, they installed spotlights on the existing light poles that shine and illuminate the pavement in front of the sculpture. So this was the best way to, of course, if you shine light at a reflective surface, it doesn't really illuminate and kind of diffuse, if you will, kind of over the sculpture. So what the approach was to shine on the pavement. So then the sculpture reflects the color on the pavement and kind of picks up a lot more of that bright color. So we have the ability to program the lights, do different shows. We're figuring out the software now. That was they provided us a software that we know nothing about, but we're pretty capable here, I like to think. So we're diving into it, and we're going to figure out how to use it and set up some really cool kind of light shows and stuff. It's programmable, through a 365-day calendar. So, game days, LSU and Southern, we can change the colors, Mardi Gras, Christmas, things like that. So it should be really, really interesting, and it certainly enhances not only the sculpture, but also the public space there. Okay, next on the agenda is the Mayor's Homelessness Prevention Coalition. I believe Dr. Jones is here to share an update with us. Dr. Jones.
Yes, thanks, Gabe, and good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
I'm going to be presenting a few slides, and I'll try to get through them as quickly as possible. I'm assuming Gabe is transitioning them, so I will.
Casey will transition the slides for you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Casey. So the first one is just to report out on what the Louisiana Balance of State Continuum of Care has actually been doing in the past few years. So the first bullet point is just an emphasis of the reduction. So we've been able to gather data that stated that they've reduced homelessness by nearly 70% since 2011. As a state overall, though, they have sheltered more than 2,200 people in what's considered non-congregate sheltered. This is the hotels that you all may be familiar with that the homeless went into as a result of COVID. And that was since April of 2020, which is almost 500 people more than Louisiana's total 2020 unsheltered census. And then the final bullet on this one is that the first time homelessness during 2020 was down by about 5%. Next slide. Here's some of the results that you'll see. 85% of people who exit Baton Rouge's congregate emergency shelters exit to permanent housing without a public subsidy. Only 33% of people who exit emergency shelter to permanent housing return to homelessness within 2 years. And then 97% of those who are enrolled in publicly subsidized permanent housing remain there, or they exit to unsubsidized permanent housing. And then the last bullet, 93% of people who exit to publicly subsidized permanent housing remain permanently housed and do not return to homelessness. So overall, these statistics are very promising in terms of once individuals get into our system through the balance of state continuum of care, then they're able to not return back to homelessness. Let's take a look at the next slide. And this one is an emphasis on what's happening in the outreach, the street outreach. So the outreach workers vary from Volunteers of America to Stark Corporation and other organizations that are out on the street. Their whole purpose is to operate with a systematic, coordinated, and comprehensive program, which is housing focused, and that is to get individuals into the HMIS system and then to get them housed. They're person-centered, trauma-informed. They try to work from a culturally responsive standpoint, and they go through a lot of training in order to understand the behavioral health issues that are present. In addition to that, they emphasize safety and want to reduce harm to the general public and to the individual. There's a link here, and again, I'm not sure, Casey, if we can go to it, but I very briefly wanted to share with you all a new platform that Weston Shield has produced. The link itself is to a portal, which I can describe. Basically, if anyone sees, let's just give a scenario in downtown Baton Rouge, on 3rd Street and you see someone who's homeless, but let's just say they're injured or causing harm to themselves or to someone else, this portal will allow an individual to go in, put in your information. You do have to self-verify, but once you put your information in, you can give the description of the person, what the scenario is, where they're located, and this will shoot immediately to one of the outreach workers, and they will then alert someone to go out and to assess the situation and to provide care and resources to that individual. So I would strongly recommend that you all feel free to share this amongst the businesses that are downtown. I think this will be a helpful tool. Again, Western Shield is the creator of this, and it gives an exact GPS location. It's a very cool tool to be able to provide information in real time and then to have an outreach worker go out. Next slide. I wanted to just give an update. Many of you may have seen some of these signs anywhere from College Drive all the way to Millerville Road. We have locations that have already been deployed, and then you'll see O'Neill to Highland. We also will be deploying on Bluebonnet at Jefferson Highway, Jefferson at Corporate in Old Hammond. I was actually just there last night and saw some activity going on there. O'Neill and Centurion Place, and then Drusilla at I-12. There are 2 series of signs. The first is all about littering and to help ensure that individuals keep our community clean. The other one, which is talking about traffic safety, is all about education and safety to the general public. And it also is for safety for those individuals who are in the median areas. We definitely want to ensure, that in the roadways that individuals are remaining safe and that no accidents happen on both ends for those driving and those in the roadway. Next slide. I wanted to give just a brief update on something that is future coming. This is our homeless behavioral health outreach team. This is a best practice that is coming from a number of law enforcement agencies throughout the country. What we have done is morphed a plan together, which is with BRPD police, where their sergeant will come out. In addition, we will have a separate group that will be led by the sheriff's office, and they will serve as team leads. They will have oversight of 4 individuals, another law enforcement officer, an information specialist coordinator. This person will just provide resources, transcribe the information on the assessments, and then also a behavioral mental health specialist. This individual will serve as a medical observer to address initial health needs. And then we have a resource case manager. And this is all about triage, making sure they do the follow-up in addition to connecting and reconnecting with the participants. Again, I wanted to explain this. We are at the point of 1 additional meeting to finalize this outlay, but the Office of Community Development will be helping us to fund this. It is targeted to specifically those individuals who are in encampments and also those who are dealing with panhandling. I wanted to emphasize that, and also this previous slide that showed the signage we put up. We definitely identify panhandlers as different from individuals experiencing unsheltered homelessness. And so this opportunity is to address some of the main concerns and to help clean up the city of Baton Rouge. So with that, I think that might be the last one, Casey. Thank you. We have our homeless prevention brochure, and I'd love to be able to leave some with you all, Gabe, in at your office. This is a resource guide, has all of the information from employment, job training opportunities, housing, where sheltering exists for women and men, for youth also. If you notice on the next, it's a 4-fold. We have health services for them, along with phone numbers, addresses, in case they don't have phones, times of operations. We've listed where they can go for food services, to pantries. And again, it's just a complete resource guide. I do want to mention that also for domestic violence services, which also is a pathway to homelessness, we've provided information. So I'd love to, again, provide this brochure to you all and to anyone else who's interested in being able to pass this out, specifically businesses in the downtown area. And that's all I have for you all today. Thank you so much. And I'm definitely open to any questions.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jones, for your work as well as the coalition. We've already begun to use the portal. You know, we defaulted to calling the police a lot of times if you know, a homeless person was in the downtown area. You know, sometimes they may be causing problems, but sometimes they just need someone to reach out to them. So it's great in non-emergency cases, certainly, to be able to have the ability to go online and let people know that this person needs someone to reach out to them to help steer them in the right direction. So we really appreciate this. It's greatly important for downtown.
Absolutely. And the other piece, Gabe, it allows us to track this person moving forward so they become a part of the information in the system. And so it will be able to be viewed by a number of different partners in order to provide those resources. And then eventually, if necessary, law enforcement will be able to engage.
Great stuff. Okay, moving on. Beautification initiatives. We have a few taking place in the downtown area right now. You may have noticed at the corner of 3rd and Florida, there are freshly planted flowers in the pots there. Brightens up this really busy intersection there. I want to thank Mr. Ben Taylor for volunteering to keep them watered. The hotel, Courtyard Marriott, was helping for a while to water the plants, but Ben stepped up to make that happen. And then also thanks to Casey for actually planting the flowers in the pot. So much appreciated. Also, you may have noticed that crews are going around cleaning up the tree wells downtown. We have so many tree wells downtown, and it's such a huge amount of work for the Department of Maintenance to really stay on top of with their responsibility spanning the entire parish. So we've been working with a group called Uplifted. They're a group that sort of employs those that may have trouble finding employment. And they've been doing the tree well maintenance as well as some litter pickup around downtown. So, it's something that we really need. And they've been doing just a great job of doing it. We've actually met with the leaders of that organization last week to maybe discuss the possibilities of expanding their work downtown. It's been kind of a goal. We would like to see downtown eventually have a clean and safe program. So we have workers kind of around downtown with broom and tray service, cleaning up tree wells, litter, different things like that, pressure washing. But it's a huge undertaking that takes a lot of money to get in place. But we really see some potential with maybe working with Uplifted and putting together, expanding the services for one, but also branding the program. So, they would have T-shirts, branded apparel that they would wear while they're cleaning up downtown. And then we would also give them some good training where if visitors need help or walking around, they can point them in the right direction, make restaurant recommendations, safety issues, report safety issues and different things like that. So, we're in early discussions with them on that concept, but I think it could potentially work out for us and for them. They're actually the group that cleans up after the football games at LSU. So they go in overnight and clean up everything and do a really great job. They have tons of resources and ability to get people employed. And this may be a great partnership in the future. So we're going to continue discussing that possibility with them. Also happening right now, which is something that we would like to do more often under a clean and safe program. But we hired a company to pressure wash mainly 3rd Street, and then also the side streets to the east and west of 3rd Street in the core of the Arts and Entertainment District. So they're going around cleaning up the concrete, just general pressure washing and removing gum, removing about 7 years of grime since the last time we pressure washed. But this is something we'd like to see happen much more often. It's really simple to pressure wash, and it just really makes a world of difference and brightens up the street. So take a look at that. If you see them working out there, thank them for the great job that they're doing.
Casey or Gabe,
Yes, sir.
A few years ago, we had, or maybe 2 years ago, we had some guys from the city come out and talk about the problem we had with the ball moss in a lot of the trees downtown. Have they provided you with an update on how that's going and how we're taking care of that?
No, we haven't received updates. Kyle Huffstickler, that led the Department of Maintenance, he's no longer with the department, and he was kind of spearheading that program. Some of the workers that worked with him on that are still there, though. We haven't received an update, but I will touch base with them to kind of see if that's something that's still moving forward. I know there was a lot of kind of research and testing of different methods, and I'm not quite sure if the greater community has really figured out the best method to get rid of the ball moss. But I'm hoping they've made some headway, and we can check and see if we can get an update soon on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item. I had the pleasure of speaking during a ceremonial event at the Old State Capitol to unveil the new Civil Rights Trail marker. It's right in Town Square. It's a 7-foot tall steel marker that highlights Baton Rouge's historical significance as the site of the nation's first bus boycott in 1953. The Lieutenant Governor and the Office of Tourism spearheaded the initiative with the assistance of many others, including the city, Visit Baton Rouge, our office, and even some participants of the boycott. But I think it's great to be installed in Town Square. A place where people from all different backgrounds come together to enjoy public events together. So we're thrilled to have it. This important marker as a symbol of progress in our city. And also help that it helps to support tourism with people coming out and taking a look at it. So thanks to everyone involved in that project. I'd like to give you an update on Riverfront Plaza Phase 2 and Phase 3. So Phase 2 is what you see at the bottom of the drawing: new tree plantings and pedestrian improvements along River Road. That project went out to bid. It was a little over budget. So again, we made some adjustments to the scope. We're confident that it's going to come in under budget this time. And we're hoping that it's going to start construction this summer. The bids will close on May 27th, the request for quotes. So hopefully get this underway in the summer and move on to Phase 3. So in this graphic here, you see in the background where there's an arrow that shows you where a shade structure will eventually be installed. I think we have some proposed, here we go, some images of the structure that Carbo is currently designing for us. This is at the foot of the city dock where the cruise ships, kind of the welcome area when they come off of the dock. Not only will this open up opportunities for programming events, setting up sort of a band under that covering there, and it really helps to kind of make a special kind of space out of this area. It's a large expanse of concrete now, but this will provide some shade. The structure will. Also, some trees will be planted in the adjacent planters to provide some additional shade. It's a really great little space that we can program and schedule. Casey can work with people and use this as an additional venue for public events, but also, chairs and tables, movable furniture that can be placed in this area for just daily use. We don't have a timeline for construction yet on this. We're just under design, but we're hoping that the design will be completed in the next 2 to 3 months. So we'll continue to keep you updated on this exciting project. All right, next up, River Road bike ped improvements. happy to announce that we received a grant of $85,000 through Recreational Trails Program. Combined with the local match, where we have a budget of over $100,000 to extend the bike and pedestrian pathway that exists on River Road on the west side, all the way up to the residential developments at River Palms and River Place condominiums. As you may know, the pathways now stop at Hollywood Casino's entrance. So this will pick up at that point, put some ADA ramping across the drive into the casino, and then take you, I guess, about maybe close to a half a mile north on River Road to connect to those residents in the north part of downtown, so they'll have a better connection into the core. So we'll hope to kick off design very soon on this project. We're in the we're getting all the agreements signed and everything lined up to begin moving on this project. So we're excited, and we thank the program for awarding us this funding. This is, I believe, the third or fourth recreational trails grant that we received to do work mainly on the Greenway so far, but this was really needed. Whitney put together a really strong application for this project, and we're really appreciative to give us some money to do this pathway, because you know, those residents toward the north of downtown, they've been asking for it for a while. So this will kind of fill in that gap and make better connections, which we're all about. So also on the next slide is a project on the east side of River Road to install new pathways and crosswalks from Convention Street to North Street. This project has been under design for a while. We did hit a few roadblocks relative to right-of-way access on the block that includes the Hilton. So the designers have made some adjustments to keep most of this work within the right-of-way, which is going to make the processes move a little more swiftly and a little easier. So the designers are making those changes, and we hope to get this to DOTD for final approval and bidding very soon. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that as well. Okay, moving on to new business. Casey will tell you about an exciting new business that's coming pretty soon in downtown East.
Hey, good morning. Most of the people are familiar with the shipping container park out on Florida Boulevard, but I talked to Mr. Cameron Jackson for a good while. He's really excited to announce his purchase of the lot at 14th Street and Government for a similar type park. This one is more focused on type of an event venue, family friendly, kind of courtyard style restaurants and different things like that. It's going to be more of some established name brand restaurants he's working with. He's also working with a Kimball Group who's renovating the Lincoln Hotel, and all those people. This is a great addition to the downtown East area, located right next to Red Stick Social, and everything that the Government Street project is doing, and that we're doing to connect with the downtown Greenway. So we had a good conversation yesterday talking about the connections and future and how we can help with this project and kind of filling up this infill or developing this infill. So we'll have more information in the coming months, but I just wanted to touch base and that we're working with them closely.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, really great concept. You may be familiar with what's the concept that they have on Government Street. From what I understand, this will be a little more family friendly, a little more green space, a little more active for programming and things. And it's within the DDD district, so it's west of the railroad track. So within the DDD proper, and right close to some other great developments in that area there. So excited for that. Next up is the events. Casey?
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on the downtown nightlife. I mean, now that the mask mandate has been lifted, I mean, it's really awesome to see downtown. I mean, it's almost like at pre-pandemic levels, the nightlife downtown. Last weekend for Mother's Day, there was reservations could not be found. The massage parlor was booked. I mean, it was great to see. Here are some images from different venues and and bars, people having a good time. And I just wanted to share that to say things are moving in the right direction, and it's fun to see people smiling again and hanging out.
Great.
And so as far as outdoor programming, we're still in the planning stages. I know that the governor has lifted the outdoor capacity limits, but we're working closely with Mayor Broom's office and her staff to properly roll out events. So we're going to be meeting with them later this week about some events happening in the spring and summer. And we'll keep you up to date on the outdoor community events. Rolling into our attractions, Preserve Louisiana and Old Governor's Mansion, still open for self-guided museum tours. I think they're having weddings and things right now, but no programmed activities just yet. Manship Theater, I wanted to touch on their Sunset on the River concerts series. This is out on the River Terrace, and on May 20th, Amanda Shaw is going to be singing. And then we have on the 13th, the River City Jazz Masters, also on the River Center Terrace, May 13th. Now on view at the LSU Museum of Art, the Art of Seating, 200 Years of American Design. If you haven't seen this exhibit, y'all should check it out. If you have a architectural and interior design kind of mind, it's really cool to see all this stuff. And you can go check it out on Free First Sunday, June 6th. Capitol Park Museum. There's free admission on every third Thursday, and the next one is May 13th this week. They've also been hosting a bunch of legislative parties with the lieutenant governor, and it's just fun to see all that happening at the attractions, giving them a little revenue. Old State Capitol, Audubon inspired, and that's through May 29th. River Center, one of the first events they've scheduled since 2020, the 10th anniversary Royal Comedy Tour, and that's Saturday, June 5th. You get your tickets for that. It should be hilarious. And then LASM, Art After Hours, Our Louisiana with Lexi Adams, this Thursday, May 20th. This is an in-person event with cocktails, so get your tickets for that as well. Roseanne Geip wanted me to announce that USS Kid is scheduling their Roaring on the River June 3rd. Tickets are on sale for this. This is a huge fundraiser for the Kid. As you know, all these venues have been struggling in 2020 in the past year. So please buy tickets and help these attractions out. Baton Rouge Arts Market, Saturday, June 5th. That's the corner of 5th and Main Street. That's the events we have.
Thank you, Casey. You know, we've been really fortunate. Our businesses, I mean, they've taken a hit just like everyone, but they've really, you know, hung in there, and we're excited to see the, you know, programs, assistant programs throughout this process. But really, it's going to be people coming back downtown, and you know, as people feel more and more comfortable, you see it in the events. You know, things are kicking back up. You know, it's going to be a slow process, but we're headed in the right direction, and we're seeing more and more people on the street every day, going in and out of the restaurants. It seems that a lot of people are kind of coming back to work. So we're looking forward to this summer and fall to really, you know, get back on our feet. So it's exciting to see so much progress so quickly. Downtown Business Association, Lauren, are you here for an update?
Yes. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay. As Gabe mentioned earlier, we are excited to bring Live After 5 back after a hiatus that was far too long. So we're going to start back up on August 20th, and we're going to go 12 straight Fridays from there. So we're trying to make up for missed time, and we're very excited about it. We invested a lot in the lineup to kind of try to support a lot of our local musicians and the gig workers who have been out of work for so long. So we're doing everything we can to get that economy rolling, as well as support the area businesses to make sure we get a really great turnout. We are working with City Hall and a number of other organizations to ensure that we're going to be following proper protocol and creating a safe environment that, you know, in this post-COVID world that we're all kind of thinking about now. or in this hopeful post-COVID world. So we're very excited about that. We'll also be launching a new series called Movies After 5. We did kind of mini movies after 5 at the Capitol Park Museum during the pandemic. It was a distanced event, kind of small scale, just testing the waters a little bit. We were showing we had some free movie showings, family friendly event, a couple of food vendors, a few buskers, musicians and otherwise out. And it was a very fun event that we really want to continue. So we're looking at pretty much every Saturday in the fall that doesn't already have some other festival or something going on. We'll be hosting a Movies After 5. We do have a lot of sponsorship opportunities available for that. The Movies After 5 sponsorships are a really great opportunity for some of these other local businesses that maybe weren't hit quite as hard by the pandemic and would like to help us continue to bring people downtown. So if you're interested in helping us support these free events, please contact me. My email address is lauren@downtownbr.org. I also wanted to mention that we have a call for board of directors. We'll have an election at the end of next month, and anyone who is a member who has been a member in good standing for at least a year is eligible to run for the Downtown Business Association Board of Directors. We do have quite a few open seats. We'll be electing for 4 seats. We have some incumbents running, as well as some new faces that we're excited to have on the ballot. So if you're interested in running, please let me know. And you'll also, of course, if you're a member, you'll be receiving that ballot at the end of next month. So, our board is elected by our membership. So we're really relying on our membership to be active in that process. I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Lauren. Bretta, do we have a representative today?
I don't believe, but I could talk a little bit about Bretta. So, as y'all know, Bretta puts on the Red Stick Farmers Market, and what a great time to be at the Farmers Market. This kind of pre-summer vegetables coming in. Every Saturday, you can see more and more things keep getting added to the lineup. They've had a great little turnout of the Main Street Market last week for Mother's Day. They provided gift baskets, so some vendors made pre-made gift baskets and sold them at the Main Street Market. So that was a success. So please look out for more things like that happening at the Main Street Market. Support their vendors inside there, and then we'll see you on Saturday at the Red Stick Farmers Market.
Thank you, Casey. Before we move forward, I wanted to recognize Councilwoman Coleman. She's here joining us. Councilwoman, would you like to say a few words? Okay. All righty. Well, maybe she stepped away for a moment. I'll hand it back off to Melanie to correspondence. We have no correspondence, and for potential adjournment.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. I did see in the chat that Ryan, you responded to the question about the recommendations that we'll make to the Metro Council. I appreciate you responding and I concur with your response. I would like to thank everybody for joining us. We do hope and plan to have our next meeting in person. I think we're all anxious to get back to being able to be in the same room and kind of see each other's faces and interact a little bit more easily than virtual reality allows. So I'm looking forward to that next month, and hopefully giving you all a little more information as we continue down the path for the filling the director position. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any opposed? Thanks so much, everybody. It's good to see your faces, tiny as they are on my phone screen, but hopefully next month in real life. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.